salve or salvete. In the second of what I hope to be a whole series of notes I eventually put online, just so that students who maybe aren't as organized, even though you should be, can refer to them whenever they want to. And just for those people who maybe even if they have them, they can just watch them over and over again to consolidate old grammar, which I'd love to have the time to go over and over again, but I don't. Here are the notes that I took with a class today with quite a few absentees. This is for them, but also just for anyone who wants to learn about Latin and a certain concept, and those of my students who want to go over this, who have already done it. So today's topic is consecutive or result clauses, which in the notes shall be referred to as CRCs. So what are we talking about here? So a consecutive or result clause is a sentence where the action in the ut clause is a result, hence the name, following on from the action in the main clause. So we have seen this before. We've seen a main clause with a main verb, usually indicative, and then we've seen an ut or a nay, and then after that we have seen a clause with a subjunctive verb. And yeah, the word consecutive means following. If you have 4 consecutive wins, they are wins following on from one another in a row. Now, if you're not quite sure what that means, then there is a very simple way you can remember what a consecutive result clause is. And that is every single your mama joke that is told. So for example, you could pick any, but your mama is so fat that when she walked by the TV, I missed 3 episodes. So here is the main clause. Your mama is so fat. And then here would be the ut. Here's just a subordinate clause, just to put it in there. But what is the result following on from your mama being so fat? It is the fact that I missed 3 episodes on the TV. So this fact follows is a result of this fact. So notes. As I said, we have encountered this kind of thing before with PCs, purpose clauses, and indirect commands. So they are constructions where we use sequence of tense. So consecutive result clauses follow sequence of tense rules and use ut plus a subjunctive. And so that is, so just as a reminder, that means that if the, sequence of tense, if the main verb is generally in the past, the subjunctive verb is imperfect, might. And if the main verb generally isn't, then you generally use may, with the exception being, of course, perfect plus have. The reason why that's treated differently is because it is a past action, but it straddles past and present. So if you say, for example, so I loved something or someone, and you just say I verbed, I loved, you don't love them anymore. You love them in the past, but you don't love them anymore. But if you say I have been in love with this person for many years, you loved her 20 years ago, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, and you still love her. So that's why it's treated differently from the other past tense verbs. I think in another language, maybe French, might be called like the present perfect, because it's sort of past, it straddles past and present. So to have a look at this example, the main verb is present. So technically, if you were to make this subjunctive, you would say, I may miss. So following the sequence of tense rules. But generally, rather than nay, you do see nay, but you much more commonly see ut and known for negative consecutive or result clauses. So if you say your mum was so fat that that I didn't do something or something didn't happen. And what characterizes them from other subjunctive clauses is that they feature one of the following. So just like indirect commands, main verb was a commandy, that formal term, a commandy type verb. So it had to be introduced by, for example, I ask, I beg, I order, I persuade, etc. You will always find one of these words in the main clause. I call them T words because most of them start with T. And in English, just like the your mama joke, in English, they're mainly S words. So for example, tam, so that'd be like your mama so fat, tua mates tam ingens, for example. Tantus a so say the crowd was so great that they had to close the gates of the stadium. Tot is an indeclinable adjective. So if you want to decline, it goes tot, 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 tot. So there are so many people here. So just say, for example, adsunt tot homines. There are so many people that I can't see my friend, for example. Totien, so often. He does this so often that it is getting annoying. Literally, you would say it may be getting annoying because you have to use a subjunctive. And the last one, this does not, these words do not all start with T, but I'm just going to lump it in with all the T words anyway. They generally all mean the same thing, either thus, like this, in such a way, or to such an extent. And those words are ita, sic, adeo, talis. So another sequence of tense construction, but generally what characterizes them is that they feature one of these words in the main clause before the word ut. Okay, so yeah, pretty, compared to some other notes, quite short and sweet, but that is a wrap for the people who missed it today, and just for anyone who wants to learn Latin, or my students who want to just go over this sort of thing who have done it before. Okay, so walete for now.